こんばんは。フォレックス TV ニューヨークのレミです。7月8日火曜日の為替レポートニューヨークレビューをお伝えします。8日のアメリカ株式市場でダウ平均は大幅反発しました。ダウ工業株30週平均は前日比152ドル25セント高の 11,384 ドル20セントで終えた。ナスダック総合株価指数は 51.12 ポイント高の 2294.44 で終えた。原油先物相場の下落やバーナンキ FRB 議長の発言を受けて買いが優勢となりました。ニューヨーク外国為替市場で円相場は続落しました。ドル円は前日比35銭円安ドル高の107円45銭から55銭で取引を終えた。ユーロ円は前日比5銭円高ユーロ安の168円40銭から50銭で取引を終えた。それではフォーカストのルーディ・ナーバスさんとのインタビューをご覧ください。
The dollar has seen gains against the euro, yen, as well as pound today, but it has been a fairly quiet session. Now, we did get comments earlier from Bernanke about extending lending to investment banks, and that did add to slight gains for the U.S. currency. And also, we've been focusing on crude oil prices pulling back not only in today's session, but also in yesterday's session. So while the dollar majors remain range-bound, now that the dust has settled after the ECB rate decision and June non-farm payrolls, what is your outlook for the euro?
Well, I think the euro after the ECB statement it remains in sort of limbo. I think it's between 150 and 160. It's going to stay at the upper end. That's where we think it should trade for the rest of well in the near term. Because there's a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen to it with the ECB next. What Trichet said was very ambiguous. That they're going to be very vigilant in inflation, but giving no timing or real bias to when they want to raise rates again, or even if they will. So that remains quite a bit of uncertainty. At the same time, too, we're also looking at the Fed, and we're seeing a lot of hawkish talk from the Fed lately. You had Yellen yesterday talking fairly hawkish, but also giving no timetable on rate hikes. But then today we had Richmond Fed President Lacker speaking, and then we had Lacker suggesting that, that we could raise rates even if the economy was weak. So as far as the euro goes, I think we're going to see it at the top end of that range for now.
Well, Rudy, now that we've covered the ECB as well as the Fed, the market will be focusing on Bernanke's comments on Thursday. And also on Thursday morning, we do get the BOE rate announcement. While no changes expected at this meeting, how do you see that weighing on the UK currency against both the dollar as well as the euro in the short term and also in the longer term?
Well, we think in the near term, the pound's not really going anywhere either. I think the whole market is really in limbo. I think that there is signs of dollar weakness coming up ahead. We saw the IMM report showing net short positions being established on the U.S. dollar versus the pound. So there is that weighing in favor of the pound. But in the near term, it's not really pointing to anywhere in specific. The UK economy is experiencing the same problems as the rest of the world with high inflation and slow growth. And the best thing that central banks can do when it comes to that, especially if inflation expectations look relatively contained, if not a little bit high, is to do nothing. And from that perspective, I think the pound is going to be range bound for just in the near term.
以上フォーカストのルーディ・ナーバスさんとのインタビューでした。フォーレックス TV ニューヨークのレミがお伝えしました。最新の為替情報についてはフォーレックス TV ジャパンをご覧ください。